Welcome, traveler. Sit close to the fire. Tonight, another dragon tale awaits, told slowly, softly, as the flames dance and the night grows quiet. Brace deep, relax, and let the story begin. The air is thick with mist, and the forest around you feels ancient, like it's been waiting for you, waiting for something to stir, the forgotten magic that rests in its depths. As you walk deeper into the trees, you begin to hear a whisper. It's faint at first, a breath of wind caught in the leaves, but then it grows. Just a murmur, like a distant voice calling from the heart of the forest. The trees, tall and old as time itself, seem to shudder at the sound. For a moment, you wonder if it's just the wind, or if it's something more. The forest feels alive, in a way you can't explain. The moss beneath your feet is soft, and the air smells of damp earth and the rich scent of pine. You hear the faintest crackle, like dry leaves underfoot, but when you look down, nothing's there. You begin to feel the weight of the forest pressing in on you, and it's like it's pulling you deeper, urging you forward. This is no ordinary place. No map, no compass, no landmark will guide you here. The land around you is untouched by time, preserved by magic that isn't found in textbooks or historical records. You've entered a world that exists outside the realm of human understanding. Some say this place was never meant to be found, that it was forgotten by all but the oldest of legends. Historians still argue whether the forest was ever truly mapped by human eyes, or if it's remained hidden in plain sight, cloaked by the magic of the land itself. But you're here now. And the whispers seem to know you're here, too. As you continue onward, the air seems to thicken. It's as though the very mist is woven with spells older than any kingdom or empire that has ever risen or fallen. The sound of the wind through the branches turns into something else. A low, rumbling whisper. There's something in the depths of the forest, something ancient, that has just begun to wake. You stop in your tracks. The dragon's presence is everywhere, in the very air you breathe. It's almost as if you can feel its eyes on you, though you haven't seen a single sign of it yet. Its whispers move through the trees, a language you don't yet understand, but feel in your bones. You're not alone here. The dragon is real, and it's been waiting. The forest may be old, but this magic, is ancient. And you can feel it stirring just beneath the surface. You press forward, the forest swallowing you in its thick embrace. Each step you take seems to deepen the mystery that surrounds you. The trees grow taller here, their trunks gnarled and twisted, as if they've been shaped by centuries of wind and time itself. The mist hangs low, wrapping around your legs, making it hard to see beyond a few feet ahead. Still, you're drawn onward, your feet guided by an unseen force. As you move, you come across something unexpected: ruins. At first, they seem like just piles of stone, weathered by centuries of exposure to the elements. But the longer you stare, the more you realize this place was once something more, something grand. The walls, although crumbled, show signs of ornate carvings, intricate designs that were once part of a civilization long lost to history. The symbols are strange, alien even. You recognize some patterns, but others are utterly unfamiliar. The ruins tell a story that no living person can interpret. Yet, the language etched into the stone speaks of power, of a time when these trees were mere saplings, and the land was ruled by forces beyond the understanding of the modern world. Historians still argue whether these ruins were ever truly part of a human kingdom, or if the people who lived here were something other than human altogether. Some say the civilization was destroyed by fire, while others argue it was magic, powerful, untamable magic, that consumed it. You can't help but wonder if this place has always been shrouded in mystery, untouched by time, and forgotten by those who once walked its soil. The forest is not just a witness to history, it is history itself. And as you step closer to the ruins, it feels as though the forest itself is whispering its secrets to you, urging you to discover the truth about what happened here. The dragon's presence seems stronger now, its whispers more insistent. Is it the dragon that once watched over this place? Was it its power that led to the fall of this kingdom? Or is it something even older, something that predates the dragon itself? As you examine the carvings, you feel a sudden shift in the air. The ground beneath you hums with energy, and the trees around you seem to bend, their branches creaking as though they're alive, stretching toward you. The whispers of the forest grow louder, filling your mind with visions, glimpses of a time long past. You see the ruins in their prime, grand stone buildings, statues of mythical creatures, and people who seem almost otherworldly. They're dressed in garments of strange, flowing materials, and their eyes shine with an unsettling brilliance. These are the people who lived here. You realize, and they weren't just ordinary humans. They were something more. Something that connected to the very magic that courses through the trees. But what happened to them? You can't shake the feeling that the answer lies in the dragon's whispers. Whatever force destroyed this kingdom, whatever magic tore it apart, is tied to the dragon. The secrets you're beginning to uncover seem to echo across time, as if the dragon has always been the keeper of the forest's darkest truths. The wind picks up, swirling through the ruins as if carrying the voices of the past. You hear it again, the faintest whisper, soft and inviting, yet laced with something ancient and primal. You know now that this is no ordinary wind. It's the dragon's voice, carried through the trees like a forgotten melody. The closer you get to the heart of the ruins, the stronger the whispers grow, their meaning just out of reach, as though the forest itself is teasing you, waiting for you to unlock its mysteries. The trees around you seem to hum with an energy that's impossible to ignore. They're older than anything you've ever known, their trunks gnarled and twisted, their bark scarred with deep grooves. Yet, as you run your fingers over the rough surface of one tree, you feel something strange. The bark vibrates beneath your touch, almost like a pulse, a heartbeat. The ancient trees have a life of their own. Their stories have been passed down for generations, whispered in the wind and carried through time, but they've never been understood by the modern world. You stand there, your hand pressed to the tree, and for the first time, you begin to understand the language of the forest. The whispers are clearer now, not in words, but in images, impressions that flood your mind. You see the dragon, not as a creature of legend, but as a part of the forest itself. It's a creature of fire and shadow, its scales shimmering in the faint light that filters through the mist. The dragon is not just a guardian of the land, it is the land. The trees, the earth, the very air around you, it all sings with its presence. The dragon's power flows through the roots of the trees, through the very soil beneath your feet. You realize the dragon has always been here, a silent guardian of the forest's deepest secrets. But its silence is not just the absence of sound. It is the silence of ancient power, a quiet that holds more weight than any roar ever could. You can't help but wonder, what was it guarding? And why has it stayed hidden for so long? It's as if the dragon's voice reaches into your soul, pulling at something deep within you. The trees seem to whisper in response, sharing their ancient knowledge, urging you to listen. Their language is not like anything you've heard before, not a language of words, but of feeling, of memory, of shared existence. The dragon's magic pulses through the forest, and for a brief moment, you feel connected to something much larger than yourself. You try to speak, to ask questions, but the words escape you. The dragon's magic has overwhelmed your senses. Instead of words, you find yourself thinking in flashes of images, visions of a time when the forest was young, when the dragon was first bound to this place, and when the world outside this forgotten realm was very different from the one you know. But even as you begin to grasp the depth of this bond between the dragon and the forest, something stirs deep in the earth beneath your feet. A shift in the ground. A rumble that seems to echo from the depths of the forest itself. It's as if something is waking up, something long dormant, and you can feel the energy in the air crackle, just on the edge of awareness. The dragon is coming. It's been waiting, and now it's ready to speak. The air grows heavy with anticipation. You can almost feel the ground pulse beneath your feet, as though the forest is alive with energy, holding its breath. The whispers seem to swirl around you, rising and falling in a soft rhythm, as if they too are awaiting something. It's as if the entire forest is synchronized with the dragon's heartbeat, and when the dragon speaks, the land will answer. You move deeper into the ruins, the stone beneath your feet cold and worn by centuries of weather. The air is thick with the scent of old earth, damp and rich, and the sound of rustling leaves is the only thing that breaks the silence. But this isn't just an ordinary silence. It's a silence that presses in, as if everything is waiting for a signal. And then, as if in response to your thoughts, the dragon's voice breaks through the stillness, a low murmur that seems to vibrate the very air around you. You've heard legends of dragons, creatures of fire and fury, with wings that could block out the sun. But the dragon here is different. It's not just a creature of destruction. It's an entity of balance, of old magic that has woven itself into the fabric of the forest. You sense its power, but it's not like anything you've imagined. There's no fire in its breath, no roar that could shake mountains. Instead, its magic is quiet, subtle, like a thread weaving through time itself, pulling the fabric of the forest closer together. Historians still argue over the true nature of the dragon. Some say it was a guardian, a creature bound to protect the land from the ravages of time. Others believe the dragon was something darker, an agent of chaos, a force that brought destruction rather than protection. What is clear is that the dragon's presence has always been intertwined with the forest. From the ancient roots to the tallest trees, its magic flows through every branch and leaf, infusing the land with its essence. The dragon's whispers are the forest's whispers. Its silence is the forest's silence. The deeper you venture, the more you realize that the forest's history is not simply written in the stones and trees around you. It's alive, woven into the very fabric of the land itself. The dragon's magic is not something you can see or touch, but something you can feel in the air, in the pulse of the earth beneath your feet, in the hum of the trees as they sway in the breeze. It's ancient, primal, and it's been here long before you arrived. You come across a clearing, where the ruins open up into a space that feels almost sacred. At the center of the clearing, a massive stone altar sits, covered in moss and vines. The carvings on its surface are worn, but they still bear the faintest traces of symbols you recognize from the ruins. A language older than anything you've ever seen. This altar, you realize, must have been a place of worship, a place where the people who once lived here made offerings to the dragon, or perhaps to the forest itself. As you approach the altar, the dragon's voice grows louder, its whispers becoming more distinct. You're close now, closer than you've ever been to understanding the true nature of this place and the bond between the dragon and the forest. But just as you reach out to touch the stone, the ground shifts beneath your feet, and the air grows thick with tension. Something is coming, something that will reveal the truth behind the dragon's silence. And it's much closer than you realize. The ground rumbles softly beneath you, like the low growl of a distant thunderstorm. For a moment, you freeze. The air is thick, the very atmosphere charged with an energy that feels both exhilarating and unsettling. You turn your gaze back to the altar, as though drawn by an unseen force. The carvings on the stone seem to shimmer, catching the faintest glimmer of light, though the sky overhead is hidden behind layers of mist. You take a cautious step forward, drawn deeper into the heart of this forgotten place. You feel it then. The presence, something vast and ancient, watching you. It's not just in the air or the trees, but in the very fabric of the forest itself. The dragon's magic pulses around you, moving like a current beneath the surface. It's as though the earth itself has begun to breathe, and the trees are reaching out to you, their branches stretching toward the altar. This isn't just an ordinary place. It's a crossroads of magic, a place where the dragon's power meets the power of the forest. You can feel the tension between them, like two opposing forces struggling for dominance, yet somehow bound together. As the mist swirls around you, you realize that the dragon's history is much more complex than you first imagined. The bond between the dragon and the forest has been forged over countless centuries, a bond that is both protective and destructive. The dragon has served as both guardian and destroyer, its power flowing through the roots and branches of the trees, shaping the very land itself. There are tales, some true, some distorted by time, that speak of the dragon's role in the creation of the forest. Some say it was the dragon who birthed the first trees from the flames of its own breath, while others claim that it was the trees that first gave birth to the dragon, shaping it from the very soil of the earth. Historians still argue about the origins of this strange partnership, Some believe that the dragon was created to protect the forest from external threats, while others suggest that the bond was a result of a much darker pact, one forged in the heat of battle, where neither party could survive without the other. There are even whispers that the dragon once roamed freely, a creature of fire and fury, until it was bound to the forest by an ancient curse, one that tied its fate to the land in ways no one fully understands. Whatever the truth may be, you can feel the weight of the dragon's history pressing on you, like an invisible hand resting on your shoulder. It's as though the forest itself is waiting for you to uncover the truth, to break the silence, and release the dragon from its slumber. The whispers grow louder now, a steady hum in your mind. The dragon is awakening, but not in the way you expected. Its power is not destructive, but transformative. It is not a force of fire and fury, but a force of change, of rebirth. The dragon's magic is rooted in the very essence of the forest, and as it stirs, the land around you begins to shift. You feel the trees bend and sway as if reaching towards something, the air thick with the weight of unspoken words. The bond between the dragon and the forest is not just one of protection or curse. It is one of transformation, a force that has shaped the very land for centuries. And now, it seems, the time has come for that transformation to unfold. As the mist begins to clear, the dragon's presence grows stronger. You hear the unmistakable sound of wings, massive, leathery wings that beat against the air. The dragon is rising, and you can feel it in the very bones of the forest. The time of silence is ending, and the time of revelation is beginning. You step back from the altar, your heart racing. The dragon is awakening, and with it, the secrets of the forest are about to be revealed. The ground trembles again, this time with more urgency. The trees sway violently, their branches creaking as if protesting the change. A deep rumble fills the air, like thunder rolling in from the horizon. But it's not the sky that's angry. It's the earth, the forest itself, stirring in response to the dragon's awakening. You take a step back, your heart pounding in your chest, as the mist around you begins to shift and swirl, the fog parting like curtains on a stage. And then you hear it. A sound so deep and resonant, it feels as though it's coming from the very core of the world. The dragon's voice, but it's not the whispers you've heard before. This is different. It's a song, low and mournful, echoing through the forest with a power that seems to shake the very foundations of the earth. The trees shudder in response, their leaves trembling as if they too are listening to this ancient call. The dragon is not just speaking, it is singing a forgotten lullaby, one that resonates through the land, through time itself. As the sound fills the air, you close your eyes and listen, letting the melody wash over you. It's beautiful, but also heartbreaking, like a memory of something lost, a piece of the world that has slipped through the cracks of time. You can feel it deep in your bones, the weight of centuries, of battles fought and promises made. This lullaby is not just a song, it's a message. The dragon is telling you something, but its words are wrapped in riddles, and you can't yet make sense of them. This is no ordinary creature, no simple guardian of the forest. The dragon is ancient, its magic woven into the very fabric of the land. Some say the dragon's voice has the power to shape the future, that it can bend time itself with a single word. Others believe it can reach into the past, unearthing long forgotten secrets, like an ancient clockwork that ticks in reverse. But no one knows for sure. The dragon's true power is a mystery, a force that has remained hidden from the world for millennia. Historians and scholars still debate the meaning of the dragon's prophecy, the riddle at the heart of its song. Some say it's a warning, a foretelling of something catastrophic. Perhaps the rebirth of an ancient curse that will once again engulf the land. Others argue that the dragon's song is one of healing, of transformation, a herald of a new age for the forest. No one knows for certain, and you wonder if anyone ever will. The forest feels alive, pulsing with the rhythm of the dragon's song. The trees sway in time with the melody, their branches bowing as though in reverence. And you, well, you are standing at the crossroads of history, at the point where past and future meet. The dragon's song is not just a sound, it is a call to something deeper, a beckoning to a fate yet to be realized. The lullaby rises, then falls, like the tide of an ancient sea. You can feel it in your chest, the way the air seems to ripple with energy. The forest is holding its breath, waiting for the next note, the next word, the next revelation. It's as though time itself has stopped, and for a moment, all that exists is this song. This moment between the waking of the dragon and the secrets yet to be revealed. As the lullaby fades, the mist clears completely. The trees around you are no longer simply trees. They are guardians, ancient sentinels, their roots twisted deep into the soil. The forest is no longer silent. It is alive, breathing with the dragon's magic, and you feel it too, as if its power is flowing through your very veins. You step forward, drawn deeper into the heart of the forest, where the dragon's song still echoes, and the secrets of the past are waiting to be uncovered. The air feels charged now, crackling with a subtle energy, as though the very atmosphere around you is holding its breath. The dragon's song has faded, but its echo lingers, vibrating in the trees and under your skin. You can still hear its presence, though it's no longer a lullaby, no longer the gentle voice that spoke of ancient memories. Now, it's something else, something heavier, more urgent. The forest around you seems to pulse with that energy, as if waiting for something to happen. As you move forward, your footsteps seem to sink deeper into the earth. The soil beneath you is soft, damp with the dampness of centuries of rain and mist. The stones of the ruins are slick, covered in moss, their ancient carvings worn smooth by time. You begin to wonder how many others have walked these same paths, trying to unravel the mysteries of the forest. How many have come seeking the dragon's secrets, only to leave with more questions than answers? Or perhaps none have left at all. But you're different. You've felt the dragon's call, heard its whispers. The magic here is in your blood now. You can feel it tugging at you, guiding you deeper into the heart of the forest. The ruins around you seem to shift, as if alive, their shapes changing in the dim light. You can't quite tell if it's the magic or your own mind playing tricks. But the air feels thick with the sense of something ancient and powerful that has been waiting for centuries to be discovered. And now, it seems, the time has come. You find a stone archway, half sunken into the ground, its once proud columns now leaning at odd angles. The symbols carved into the stone are worn, but you recognize them. They are the same symbols you saw on the altar, the same strange language that has eluded you up until now. But this time, something is different. The symbols seem to shift as you look at them, their meanings unfolding before your eyes in a way that feels almost natural, like you've always known them. The whispers return, this time not in the form of a song, but as words. They are faint, as if spoken from the deepest depths of the earth, but they are clear. You hear the name of the dragon, spoken like a prayer, and then the word pact. The dragon's magic, it seems, is bound not just to the forest, but to something far older, far more powerful. You pause, your hand resting on the archway, feeling the cool stone beneath your fingers. The whispers grow louder, and now you understand what they are telling you. This is where the dragon's pact was made. Right here, in this very place. The ruins around you are not just remnants of a forgotten kingdom. They are the remnants of an ancient agreement, one forged between the dragon and the rulers of this land, long before history was written. Some say that the pact was made in desperation in the wake of a great war. The dragon, it seems, was not simply a guardian. It was a force of nature, a being of unimaginable power that could destroy or protect, depending on the terms of its bond. Historians still argue over the details. Some claim the pact was made to protect the land from an ancient enemy, while others suggest it was made in exchange for something far darker, a price that the dragon paid for its power. As you stand before the archway, you realize the truth: the forest itself is the key to understanding the dragon's silence, the pact, the curse. It's all tied to this place. The forest is not just a land of beauty and mystery. It is a living record of everything that has happened here, everything that has been lost. And now, you are on the verge of uncovering the final chapter of that story. The whispers grow louder, more insistent. You step through the archway, the air around you growing colder as you enter a hidden grove. The trees here are different, older, their trunks wider, and their branches twisted into strange shapes. The ground beneath your feet is bare, the soil packed hard, like the floor of some ancient temple. And at the center of the grove, you see it, a massive stone altar covered in vines and moss. This, you realize, is where the pact was sealed. And now, the dragon's voice is no longer a whisper. It's a roar, a silent cry that shakes the very ground beneath your feet. The air is thick with a palpable tension, as if every tree, every stone, every blade of grass is holding its breath. You step closer to the stone altar, your heart pounding in your chest. The whispers, those distant murmurs you've grown accustomed to, are gone. In their place is a heavy silence, the kind that stretches time, drawing you deeper into the mystery of this place. You can feel the weight of history pressing on you, the countless years that have passed since the pact was first made, and the untold stories that still linger in the shadows. The altar, now fully revealed before you, seems to pulse with an energy of its own. Its surface is smooth, yet beneath the moss and vines, you can see faint traces of symbols carved deep into the stone. Symbols that are at once familiar and alien, like a language you almost understand, but not quite. As you reach out to touch the altar, your fingers brush against the cold stone, and something shifts. The air around you stirs with a sudden rush of energy, and for the briefest of moments, you hear it again. The dragon's voice, not a whisper, but a low growl, like distant thunder. It reverberates through the very ground beneath your feet. You pull your hand back, startled, but the dragon's presence is unmistakable. It's here, watching, waiting. The silence is suffocating now, almost unbearable, as if the entire forest is holding its breath along with you. Historians and scholars have long debated the nature of the dragon's curse. Was it punishment, a consequence of some ancient betrayal, or was it something else entirely? A bargain struck between the dragon and the rulers of this forgotten land. Some believe the curse was meant to bind the dragon to the forest, to keep it from leaving and wreaking havoc on the world beyond. Others argue that the curse was a result of the dragon's own actions, its thirst for power, its refusal to be controlled by any mortal hand. But standing here, in the heart of the forest, with the stone altar before you, and the dragon's presence surrounding you, you realize the truth. The curse isn't just about punishment or power. It's about the bond that was forged between the dragon and this place. The forest is not just the dragon's prison. It is its home, its essence, and its prison all at once. The curse is not a sentence. It is the cost of the dragon's power, the price it paid to protect or to control the land. And as you stand before the altar, the weight of that curse presses down on you, as if the very air is thick with the magic that binds the dragon to this place. The ground beneath your feet seems to hum with the energy of centuries, and you can feel it in your bones. The dragon's magic, ancient and untamed, flowing through the roots of the trees, through the stone of the altar, through the very soil beneath you. The trees around you seem to shift, their branches creaking as if they're waking from a long slumber. The mist begins to swirl again, rising up in tendrils around the clearing, and the whispers return. But this time they are not just the wind. They are voices, ancient, broken, and full of longing. They speak of a time before the curse, a time when the dragon was free, when it could roam the skies and rule the land. But that time is long past, and the dragon has been bound to this forest for centuries, its power intertwined with the trees, the earth, the very air. You realize then that the curse isn't just a magical binding. It's a choice. The dragon has been here for so long, it has become a part of the forest, a guardian of its secrets, its protector. But in doing so, it has lost something of itself, its freedom, its purpose beyond the forest's borders. The dragon's silence is not just a result of the curse. It is a consequence of the price it paid for its bond to the forest. The wind picks up again, and with it, the dragon's voice. This time, the growl is deeper, more resonant. The dragon's presence is stronger, as if it's finally ready to speak, to reveal the truth that has been buried in the heart of the forest for so long. As the mist swirls around you, the trees begin to tremble, their leaves rustling in a frantic dance. The ground beneath you quakes, and you can feel the energy building, rising like a storm on the horizon. The time for silence is over. The dragon is ready to tell its story, and you are the one it has chosen to hear it. The ground shakes beneath your feet, a deep, resonant tremor that seems to echo from the very core of the earth. The trees groan, their limbs twisting in ways that seem almost unnatural, as if they, too, are responding to the dragon's call. The air hums with energy, thick and heavy, as the mist swirls faster, swirling around you in great gusts. For a moment, you are disoriented, surrounded by the dissonant sound of rustling leaves, cracking branches, and the faintest rumble of distant thunder. But there's something else, something more subtle. Beneath it all, the dragon's presence. It is as if the forest itself is alive, caught in the throes of some long, forgotten ritual. You can feel it in your bones, this ancient power that rises from the depths of the earth, pulsing beneath the soil. The whispers have intensified, now no longer faint or fragmented, but clear, sharp, and insistent, like voices calling from the edges of time itself. And within them, you hear the dragon's voice, its deep, rumbling growl reverberating through the trees, the ground, your very soul. As the wind picks up, you see something stir within the depths of the mist, a shadow rising from the heart of the clearing. It is massive, an almost overwhelming presence that you can feel long before you can see it. The shape begins to emerge, shifting through the fog like a creature of myth, its form both graceful and terrifying. The dragon is here, not just as a whisper or a presence, but as a tangible force. It steps into the clearing, its body massive and coiled, wings tucked neatly against its sides. Its scales shimmer like molten silver, flickering in the soft light that breaks through the mist. The dragon's eyes, glowing with an inner fire, fix on you, and in them you see not just a creature, but an ancient being, one that has existed long before the rise and fall of any kingdom, before the very first trees took root in the soil. The dragon's gaze is heavy with the weight of time, of power, and of a silence that has lasted centuries. The whispers stop. The forest is still, the wind holding its breath as the dragon stands before you, the echoes of its growl reverberating in the air. There is no threat in its presence, no anger. Instead, it is a moment of quiet understanding, as though the dragon has waited for you to be here, to witness its awakening. It is then that the dragon speaks, not with a voice, but with a thought that fills your mind, a direct connection, as if its very consciousness is reaching out to you. You feel the weight of its words, not as sound, but as something much deeper, something that settles into the core of your being. I have waited, the dragon's thoughts say, the words both ancient and timeless. I have waited for one who would hear the truth. You, child of the forest, are the one who will see beyond the silence. You are frozen, not in fear, but in awe. The dragon's presence is overwhelming, and its words, though not spoken aloud, resonate through every fiber of your being. You can feel the history of this place, the magic, the pact, the curse. all of it flooding your mind like a distant memory. A story that was once forgotten and now is being remembered. The dragon continues, its thoughts flowing into you like a river of knowledge. The forest is bound to me, and I to it. The pact was forged in fire and shadow, born of necessity and sacrifice. We are one, and yet we are separate. I guard these woods, not out of duty, but because I must. And in return, the forest shields me from the world beyond. You begin to understand now. The dragon is not just a guardian, it is a part of the forest, bound to it by an ancient force. The pact that was made all those years ago was not simply an agreement. It was a binding, a deep, unbreakable connection between the dragon and the land. The curse, the silence. It was all a result of that bond. A price paid for the forest's protection. But now, as you stand before the dragon, you realize something else. The forest's magic is not simply a passive force. It is alive, and it is waiting for the right person to come, to unlock the secrets that have been hidden for so long. The dragon's voice fills your mind again, stronger this time, as if urging you forward. The time has come for you to choose. Will you continue the path, or will you break the silence and let the forest speak its truth? The choice is yours. You stand there, the weight of the decision pressing on you. The forest, the dragon, the pact. It's all in your hands now. The silence that follows is deafening. You stand at the edge of something vast, something that stretches beyond the realm of what you thought you understood. The forest is alive with anticipation. The dragon's presence pulses like a heartbeat in the air around you, and you feel the weight of its ancient power pressing down on you, wrapping itself around your very soul. The dragon has given you a choice, a decision that will shape not only the fate of the forest, but perhaps the very world beyond it. The wind rustles through the trees, their branches reaching toward you, their leaves whispering of a time long past, of forgotten promises and secrets buried deep in the earth. The choice, though simple in its words, feels impossibly heavy. To continue down this path would mean embracing the silence, the peace that the dragon has known for centuries, a guardianship over a world untouched by the chaos beyond. But to break that silence, to awaken the forest fully, to release its secrets and its magic, could change everything. The dragon's voice echoes again in your mind, calm and patient. Choose wisely, for the path you take will not be undone. You think of all that you have seen, the ruins, the ancient trees, the whispering winds that carry tales from the depths of time. You think of the dragon, not just as a creature of legend, but as an ancient force that has lived through epochs, through ages of darkness and light. Its silence, you now understand is not merely the absence of sound. It is the weight of an age-old pact, a promise made long ago to shield the forest and the world beyond it. But that promise has come at a cost. The dragon has not been free, not in the way you thought. The forest, its guardianship, the silence, it is all tied together in a delicate balance that has stood for centuries. But nothing lasts forever. The dragon has waited, and now the time has come for that balance to shift. You step forward, the mist swirling around your legs. As you approach the dragon, its great eyes, gleaming like twin moons, watch you, filled with centuries of wisdom, but also with something else, a quiet yearning. The dragon's wings stir slightly, a movement that sends a ripple of energy through the air, and for a moment, the ground beneath you seems to hum with the power of the forest itself. You can feel the magic. It's all around you now, flowing through the air, through the trees, through the very stones of the ruins. The dragon's presence fills the space, wrapping you in its ancient magic, its endless watch over the forest. And then, with a soft, almost imperceptible sigh, the dragon speaks again, its voice like the rumble of distant thunder. The choice has always been yours. You may walk the path of silence, the path of guardianship, or you may break the silence, and with it, awaken the power of the forest. Choose. There is no turning back now. The dragon's eyes seem to search yours, as though it's waiting for something, waiting for you to make the final decision. The forest holds its breath. You look around once more at the ruins, at the ancient trees, at the altar where it all began. The whispers of the past still linger in the air, but they are no longer fragmented. Now they are whole, complete, as if the forest itself is finally ready to speak its truth. The dragon's magic is alive in every leaf, every stone, every breath of wind. You feel the weight of that magic inside you, pulling at the very core of your being. And then, with a soft whisper of wind, the decision becomes clear. The time for silence is over. The dragon's wings unfold, great leathery sails that seem to block out the sky. It rises into the air, its massive body curling with a grace that belies its size. The ground shakes once more, but this time, it's not a tremor of threat. It's a tremor of release, of a promise kept, and a new one forged. The forest, long bound by the silence, now begins to speak. The trees, once mute, rustle with life, their voices rising in a chorus of ancient knowledge. The air grows thick with the power of the land, the magic flowing freely now, unbound. The dragon's roar fills the sky, but it is not a cry of rage. It is a cry of freedom, of a long-awaited rebirth. The silence is broken. You stand at the heart of the forest, watching as the dragon ascends into the sky. its wings beating the air in powerful rhythm, sending a pulse of energy through the very soil. The forest trembles beneath you, but it is no longer a place of silence. It is a place of life, of magic, of truth. And as the dragon's final roar echoes into the distance, you realize that your journey has only just begun. The forest is awake, the dragon is free, and the secrets of this place, once hidden in shadow, are now yours to discover. The dragon's final whisper, like a breath on the wind, lingers in your ears. This is only the beginning. Sweet dreams.